Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to the Oracle of the Light channel. Good evening, everybody. It's an evening from over here in the UK today. I hope we're all keeping well. Still lovely for you all to join me. First of all, before I start, let's give a big welcome to all my new subscribers. But before we begin, don't forget to give a thumbs up. And if you like the channel, do subscribe below. It just really, really means so much. It's so important for us to that you subscribe. We do love you all subscribing and watching as well. To all my lovely returning viewers as well. Welcome to everybody this evening. Evening over here in the UK. We're just sort of inspired to do a live, so we thought, why not? Let's just do a reading about this. It's an interesting subject, and it feels like it's like coming up a little bit more and more. But before we go any further, too, I do have to say that all the readings are for entertainment purposes only, of course. So before we go a little bit further in the show, of course, the thing we're discussing tonight is impeachment. And the title of the show, of course, is Impeachment Coming, because it seems like it's getting closer and closer. And I think there's a lot of people saying almost like, when is this going to happen? When is it going to happen? It must have surely happened now. Still hasn't happened yet. So this is why I think, particularly with everything going on with the courts and everything like this, the Supreme Court and things, it's starting to get a very we're starting to get to a tipping point, I think, in a way, a little bit. So I just thought it'd be a really interesting question to ask about impeachment, So the two questions we're going to be asking tonight is, will Felon 45 be impeached? Let's ask the cards. And the rods as well. So I do also do readings with dowsing rods. So I'm actually going to do them on another live. Actually, we'll use the rods on another live. But the way I work is I work psychically, and I work with mediumship, with spirit as well. So it means that when you work psychically, you tune into the energies of people around the world. So there's a lot of things going on that I'm going to be trying doing tonight to try and get an idea, because we're going to, as well as using the cards, I want to tune into those energies to see what's going on. And if he is going to be impeached, the second question is when, because that's an interesting question. When will that be? Of course, I always say to people always have free will and people always have choice with cards like this, but it is really interesting to see what the cards do say. And the whole idea of this channel is to shine a light into these subjects that are going on around us and these issues going on around us, and shine that light of and open it up a little bit, almost just to look at it in a different angle, maybe. So I use the Cosmic Tarot, and I do also use rods. I will use rods if people fancy me using them as well. Just do say, and I'll maybe try and get some rods going in some future lives as well. Well, not lives, future videos, let's say. So let's now. And usually I do a lot of research often to find out and tell you what's going on and stuff like that. But in truth, there are so many potential things that Felon 45 can be impeached for. It would take me all night to list everything. So my advice is, if you want to have a check out of what he's been up to, go check out MeidasTouch and other news channels, independent news channels that I had listed things as well, as a source to see what he's been up to. But he's been up to so many things that it would be a list. I don't think we've got time in the program. I don't think to list everything. It's getting to a serious point. And people are getting hurt. We mustn't forget that. People are getting hurt in many different ways with many different things. And so we want to know if this impeachment is coming, and if so, when. Let's stop this circus show. Oh, that is the Queen of Cups is desperate to come out. So I feel that this is, I think Jasmine Crockett might be jumping out the deck again, because the Queen of Cups is someone who is Cups is all about love. I'm just feeling this like, for some reason I'm seeing like a map there of to do with like travel and awareness of the world and the country and everything. But this card really jumped out, and it feels like this could be to do with. It could be the impeachment might come via a female, possibly. It might become via that. This lady, the Queen of Cups, certainly jumped out, and the cups just represent love. So it would be someone that has a love for the country and for the people and everything like that, which would make sense. Why a lady, almost like it could be a female that finally tips the balance, or that finally gets things moving to whatever that is, or makes a call for someone to do something, if you know what I mean, and it's finally listened, that might tip the balance finally, so that's quite interesting as an opener. So will Felon 45 be impeached? I'm just going to find out what sort of what arrangement of cards we need for this. I think I'm going to do 5 cards. I'm going to do one in the middle and then 4 around the outside to give us a bit of a perspective on it. Will Felon 45 be impeached? Actually, I'm not going to do 5 cards. I'm going to do 2 rows of 3 with 1 in the middle. So 7 cards in total. And that represents the scales. So 2 sides of the scales with a middle card in the middle, to almost hopefully give us that definitive one, if that makes sense, So we'll have 7 cards in total. So will Felon 45 be impeached? Let's ask the cards. I'm going to move that beautiful table. Okay. 5 of Wands upside down, the Magician upside down. Wow, the 10 of Swords upside down, the 5 of Cups the right way up, the 8 of Swords the right way up, the Queen of Pentacles upside down, the 6 of Wands. I've drawn more cards. Okay, I've something to draw this. The 3 of Swords and the Devil. Wow, upside down. Obviously, I was meant to draw out 9 cards because I just ended up drawing out 9 cards. I just go with the flow. So, first of all, so the question is, will Felon 45 be impeached? So, first of all, with the 5 of Wands, it's going to be a fight. There's going to be a fight for this. This is not going to be easy. There's going to be a cunning fight, though, because the Wands represents that magic side of things. So it's going to be like everyone's going to use every trick in the book to wheedle around and get around and everything like this, So there's going to be a lot of trickery, but there is going to be a lot of hurt with this. There's, interestingly as well, I'm really aware of that circle of stones as well. So it feels like there's going to be a singling out, but there's also going to be people around that are also going to be tied in, I feel, with these rocks, The next card I have is the Magician upside down. So the Magician upside down. Now, the Magician the right way up is all to do with a very spiritual card, but the Magician the wrong way up is very much about trickery. So there's going to be tricks going to be tried to be played here, it feels like, it feels like, again, this is to do with the first card also being like cunning and being like difficult, I feel like as well with this, for that impeachment to happen, people are going to have to get everything on the table, all planned, and for, people are going to have to make sure they get organized in that sense, it's like, it's very, very trickery. We need to watch out for trickery, we need to watch out for the truth not being told. We need to look for for lying to get out of this. It's all about manipulation to get around. It's like I said, that winding thing, you know. The Ten of Swords too, in the sense of, now this is particularly impeachment of Felon 45. This to me shows that this is a very much like a hurt card. Swords are connected to hurt, but this is connected to speech. So there's going to be a big importance here in the case, if ever it does come about, in terms of words being very important. It's important for people to put things into words and communicate them and speak them. But it's also going to create a lot of, it's going to actually hurt Felon 45, you know. It is going to go deep, you know. I don't think he'd like it, you know. And this is really showing that this is going to hurt him, you know. The impeachment on him is not going to be, he's not going to like that at all, you know. He's going to feel like everyone's stabbing those swords in, and he won't like that at all, you know. But it is also going to involve communication, you know. And following on from that card as well, we go to this disappointment, you know. This, I feel, could almost be the MAGA supporters even, or certainly some people that were following not the Democrats, the word's going out of my mind, the Republicans, that's right. There's going to be a lot of people almost like let down in him, I feel. This is very much like a let down card, lost love card. It feels like there's just really going to be and I feel it could also represent Felon 45, although I think he will be fighting until he goes down almost, you know. This feels more like the people that used to like look up to him. And there's this sense of disappointment there. There's this sense of like, who have they been following all this time, you know? Yeah, there's that disappointment. And I think this is also, I think this is, I feel what will happen is when and if the impeachment does happen, I feel that people close to Felon 45 are going to turn on him, you know. And the reason why I say that is that this, I feel that's actually Melania and Felon 45, and I feel that those swords are like the people he holds close, but in actual fact there is no one he can trust, actually, because actually they'd throw him under a bus if they can, actually. And I think what might start to happen is when the impeachment begins and things do start to crumble and things, I get a sense of like people will try to do damage limitation, if you like, and I think that's what these swords represent. They don't want to drown in all the water, you know, so they'll do damage limitation and they won't care who they hurt, you know. I think it's what that represents, you know. The Queen of Pentacles upside down, I feel that this could well represent like Melania, you know, saying, what are you going to do to get out of this? You know, we got to, what are you going to do? You know, and because the Queen of Pentacles upside down is the Queen of Pentacles, the right way up is a very elegant lady, spiritual lady connected to the elements. But upside down is a not a positive card, you know, in the sense of selfish, orientated towards themselves, no cares for any other people. So to me, this is like almost her saying, not again, we can't do this again, you know. This is, so there's like, and I think she might try and take as much as she can. Like they get the sense of her grabbing everything and running almost, you know. So whether or not she will go out on her own, it will be quite interesting. But I definitely get the sense of her taking care of herself, you know. So this one is this last row, I feel, is almost like a finalizing row of it, if you know what I mean. Okay. So the first card, I feel this could well be a judge, actually. And I feel the reason why there's so many ones on the floor is that actually there's so many potential things that could be the cause of the impeachment in the end, that I think it's more than one. I think it's more than one impeachment, I'll say, with this. That's what I need to say. It feels like there may well be more than one at the time when it happens, because I'm feeling that there's many papers piling up with those ones on the ground there, you know. I feel this is a very strong, elegant person. I'm feeling that the person who ends up doing this might not be a big person. They might be quite slight. It's quite interesting to get these observations of when it does happen, to see who that might be, because I'm feeling this is the sense of them almost doing it very elegantly. In fact, actually, you know, I think there is a lot of elegance to truth, and there's a lot of elegance to justice, actually, because when you're not truthful and you're dishonest and you do have those bad values, it's not elegant, you know. It can create shiftiness and unease, you know, whereas trustworthy is very elegant and poised, you know. So there's a lot of, it's going to be done the right way is the important thing, you know, by following the Constitution and all that, maintaining the Constitution. I think that's what I'm getting to in terms of this dignity. I think it's this importance of doing things right. It's important to do things right and correct with a good heart and good values, you know. And the next card is this could be even the amount of possible impeachments here, you know. This 3 is coming out, and it'll be like he's stabbing to his heart, you know. We've already had that with this card, you know, that it's going to go deep, and this card is a very deep hurt, you know. And you can see the similarity now, I think, between those two cards, yeah. It could also signify 3 impeachments rather than just one alone, you know, or it could signify 3 people coming together to make that a thing, because we also had this lady here, and we had this man here too, you know. So it's interesting that we've got those 2 people there. There might be a 3rd person involved in finally bringing it there, you know, to that point. So it could also, 3 seems significant anyway, you know. There's a significance around 3, be that impeachments or be that people involved, all will, I'm sure, happen, you know. I do feel it is going to happen though. This does feel like a definite sense of this is going to happen, and the final card in some ways does very much say yes, this is a yes, impeachment is going to happen, because the devil's world is going to be turned upside down, you know, as you can see with that card there. And I do feel this card is Felon 45, and this card isn't just a card tied to what would you call it, tied to excess. But when you turn the card up, so this is usually, as I say, tied card all about being tied to the excesses and the things in life. But when you turn the card upside down, it becomes almost like turning to the criminalities in life. You see the difference in you go from excesses that are legal, you know, those things are legal, you know, to eat rich food, to spend lots of money, to, you know, those things are legal. But when you turn it upside down, you're talking about criminality, and those things are not legal. And I think that's where but the world is going to be turned upside down. I think that's what the main thing is from this. And impeachment is something that would turn his world upside down, you know. So yeah, I think that it feels like he is going to be impeached. So so with that in mind, then, when? That's the question. When? So I'm going to draw some more cards out for when. It's a very interesting reading. Let's just get some more cards now. I'll just shuffle. I'm going to put some on the front, some on the back, and I'll shuffle away. So I do feel impeachment is on the way. I do. 3 was significant there too. So there may be more than one impeachment on the way. Of course, all readings for entertainment purposes only, of course, as we know. But when will these possible impeachments be happening, you know? I want to draw a card out as I see I need it for this, okay? I'm not going to just, let me just keep shuffling a little bit too. I don't know how many cards I'm drawing out for this. We'll just draw them as we need them. But I do feel I've shuffled them enough there. Beautiful table. The Hermit. Okay. So thinking about this then. So the Hermit is someone that goes away and hides away for many years and disappears and keeps themselves to themselves. But that's then it's that way up. Okay. And they almost need to have the confidence to follow the light into connecting to people and stuff like this, the Hermit. The reason why I'm giving you this reading is because it helps me to reverse it then so we can see the opposite. So to me, the light's going to shine on this person. So rather than the person taking the light and shining it, the light's going to shine on this person. It feels like relatively soon, because to me, a hermit is someone that goes away for years and years and years and then starts to look for some other connection. Okay, that's the very nature of a hermit, is to retreat for many years. But upside down, it's the opposite of that. So a light is going to shine onto that hermit, Felon 45, sooner than they expect. That's what I feel with this. Sooner than we expect with this. Okay, so whether that means that is going to be coming literally very, very soon in relation to some of these recent cases that are in the Supreme Court, could it lead to maybe an impeachment where we're at now even? Who knows? But it's certainly, I certainly do get the sense of, with this card, sooner rather than later. And it's definitely a sense of the light shining on him faster than he's expecting it to. Okay. The light shining on him. This message from this card is the light will shine on him faster than he expects. And talking of light, let's get a reading from the Oracle of the Light and shine a light on that very same question. Actually, I'm just going to answer the second question to get that little bit more clarification, but I do feel it's going to be sooner than we think. I certainly hope so. And I'm not giving this reading just because I hope it's as soon as possible. I'm genuinely saying this because this is what the card's saying, because the opposite to it is someone that hides away for years and years and years and then looks for connection. The opposite is the light shines on a person sooner than they expect. You know, you see how it works there. So so let's get a little bit more clarification. Get one more card out as well, okay? When is he going to be impeached? When is he going to be impeached? Here we go. Wow, okay. Silent Wisdom. Very interesting card. So to me, this card is significant in the fact that this is someone that has to listen to somebody. This is a very much like a shut your mouth and listen card, because sometimes people talk too much that they don't listen enough. And sometimes all we need to do in life is just listen, okay? And also, if you get an impeachment, you just need to listen. That is an order. An impeachment is an order that you need to listen to and not ignore, not try to slime around it, you know, not be tricky or anything, you know. So it's going to involve I think so. In terms of when, it's going to be when he needs to hear this. Okay, so the time in which this will be is when he needs to hear it. Okay, which could be very soon as well. Actually, it could be very soon. But I definitely get a sense of it's going to happen sooner than we think. I feel with this card, and when it does, he's going to have to listen. He's going to have to listen very carefully. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Actually, no, I'm going to get one more card. I want to get another card for a bit more information. So I've just got another card off it, which is the Wings of Freedom. So Virgo, so this is also a card that could say this could happen sooner rather than later. So his freedoms need to be curtailed here because his freedoms are having a huge impact on other people's human rights freedoms. Okay. And therefore, the person whose very freedoms need to be curtailed are Felon 45s for the purpose that he needs, this impeachment needs to happen. So to me, this is again a sign that it's saying now is that time. Now it needs to happen sooner rather than later. We need to cut the wings of Felon 45, because this card this way up is a flying card off. But when it's upside down, it's the wings being cut. They need to be stopped. It needs to be stopped. That's what this card is about. For the hope of the world. We see the world in the corner there. Isn't the world actually? It's the Virgo zodiac sign, but I was seeing that actually as the world. So for the good of the world, his wings need to be clipped, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later. Okay, we'll see when it will happen, but that's certainly what the cards are saying, and that's what it's feeling. Very interesting reading. So listen, everybody, I think we've reached the end of the reading there, but I do hope you've enjoyed the reading. If you enjoyed it, do leave a thumbs up underneath. And also don't forget, if you enjoy the channel, do subscribe below. It really, really does mean a lot. So with lots of love and light, everybody, I will see you all really, really soon with lots of love and light from the Oracle of Light. See you all really soon, everybody, and take care.